Doherty's hand. It wasn't an intentional play. Doherty had his hand in there, but this is an extremely aggressive rebound that Mahar is going to pull down. Smith with the jump shot. Mahar is going to come into your picture from the right, pulls it down. Matt Doherty hit the ball and knocked it into Dan Mahar's face.
Official timeout.
Look at it again from another angle. As you see,
nice block
Matt Doherty trying
Billis
to work on the inside, and the Spalding caught Dan Mahar right on the bridge of the nose. He is being attended to down below.
Boy, that really hurts. You get hit in the nose like that, and your eyes just water up, and you can't open your eyes for a couple minutes. That's very painful. Looks like he'll be all right, though. It's better to get hit with the ball. If you get clipped there in the nose by somebody's hand, there's a possibility you could break that.
Danny Mahar, a Canadian from St. Catharines, Ontario, just outside of Toronto. The shooting has cooled down a little bit here.
Duke, after hitting their first 5 field goal attempts in the second half, is now 9 for 17, so they've cooled off noticeably. That might have something to do with the fatigue factor. They've played very hard. They've gotten some good open opportunities. Johnny Dawkins, this guy here, he has missed some shots, probably a couple of shots that he should not have taken, and I think that's why Mike Krzyzewski took him out of the game to say, hey, look, let's get back under control.
Pressure on the inbound pass. It comes into Henderson. Working against Matt Doherty. He'll get it over the timeline. Michael Jordan still on the bench for Carolina with the 4 personal fouls with 8:20 to go in the game. Henderson is on the floor with 4 personals for Duke. 60 to 59. Duke trying to regain the lead. Carolina trying to come up with a victory to get only the 6th unbeaten ACC regular season club. What a block from behind by Brad Doherty.
Billis was able to get around. Billis gets around Doherty. Doherty standing straight up in the air. Billis recognizes and goes around him, but Brad Doherty does a nice job keeping his body away from Jay Billis and knocking it away from behind.
Billis works around Doherty. Good pass to Alarie.
He passed that right underneath the legs of Sam Perkins. What a pass!
And Duke has regained the lead at 61 to 60, and that will get Michael Jordan up off the bench for Carolina. Perkins nearly triple teamed as they try and go low to him. Back door to Hale on the baseline. Now the lob to Doherty.
Tough shot by Brad Doherty. Stayed on balance, but Alarie was right in his face.
19 lead changes in the ball game. 62-61 Carolina. 7:25 to go in the game. Offensive foul on Tommy Amaker. Mike Krzyzewski cannot believe it. He'll have some time to talk about it. We have time out on the floor. Carolina leading Duke 62 to 61.
For every person you see on a Piedmont jet, there are 5 people working behind the scenes. People you never see, but people who are just as important as the ones who fly the planes. Piedmont's unsung heroes. Thousands of people who never get off the ground help keep us the up-and-coming airline.
At Central Fidelity Bank, we know what you need to build up your business. Money for new construction, money for the fleet you need to keep moving ahead, and for the office equipment that can keep you from falling behind. We've lowered our interest rates on working capital for inventory and receivables. We've lowered our interest rates on business loans because you've been working hard for your business, and so have we.
We work harder for you at Central Fidelity Bank.
This exclusive ACC coverage is a presentation of Raycom Sports and Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions.
The 1984 ACC Basketball Tournament.
Don't try to stop it, don't try to stop it. Don't try to stop it, don't try to stop it.
We'll bring you all the action with Mike Patrick and Dan Bonner, Fred White and Jeff Mullins. As always, we'll have the inside of Billy Packer. Paul Cameron from the ACC Sports Center, and Jack Corrigan will handle pregame and halftime activities. We'll give you the official word, the short stories, and the inside stuff.
Don't try to stop it, don't try to stop it.
The 1984 ACC Basketball Tournament, beginning Friday, 12 noon.
7:25 remaining in the game. North Carolina with the ball and the lead.
Shot clock is going to be turned off at 4 minutes, of course, and I think with the Duke Blue Devils, the position they want to try to be in is to be ahead of North Carolina at that point in the game. North Carolina in some foul trouble. There's no doubt in my mind that they're going to go to that four corners of theirs as soon as they get the opportunity.
Michael Jordan with the ball right there has got 4 personal fouls. David Henderson with 4 for Duke. Both players on the floor right now.
Both teams with their original starting lineups in the game. Duke back in that 3-2 zone.
Ball out front comes loose to Duke.
Oh, very nearly a double dribble by David Henderson. Dean Smith and the North Carolina bench were up asking for just that call. Carolina in the man-to-man.
Danny Mahar back in the ball game. Inside, Henderson somehow got it up and in.
Good tough move by David Henderson. He had excellent position against Matt Doherty and was able to force it up over top of him.
Duke has regained the lead with 6:25 to go in the second half. Jordan on the baseline.
Jordan has been open in that particular spot against that Duke 3-2 defense all night long. Finally got one to go down.
16 points for Michael, 9 in the second half. His first basket after sitting down for nearly 8 minutes in the second half. A bad lob pass, but it still came to a Duke player as Amaker was trying to get Dawkins on the alley-oop.
Seen some interesting plays on passes in this game.
Henderson picked up the dribble, but got it free to Dawkins. Good pass to Alarie. The block by Perkins, but the foul by Perkins.
Sam Perkins has done an outstanding defensive job against Mark Alarie. That time Alarie got behind him. Excellent pass by Johnny Dawkins. Perkins turned his head, looking at Dawkins, assuming it was a shot. He gets the foul call right there coming over the shoulder of Mark Alarie. But Perkins has really taken Alarie out of the game for the most part here in the last few minutes.
Mark Alarie with just 4 points in the second half. We should also point out the converse of that, Dan Bonner. Sam Perkins has not scored in the second half and has taken only 1 shot. Alarie is now a perfect 4 of 4 at the line. He leads all scorers with 20 points. We are tied for the umpteenth time this afternoon. I can't keep track of it. 64 all. Alarie regains the lead for the Duke Blue Devils.
North Carolina getting the ball up the court very quickly. Duke still in that 3-2 zone.
Steve Hale looking inside the alley-oop to Jordan.
You want to know why Sam Perkins doesn't have any shots in the second half? It's because Duke has been concentrating on him, trying to keep the ball away. Now that Michael Jordan's back in the game, North Carolina has found a weakness. That's 2 in a row for Michael, and that was a tremendous looking play.
Henderson moved around Perkins, but Sam got back to cut him off. 5:05 to go in the game. Carolina by a point. Amaker forces it up, no, but is fouled by Steve Hale.
North Carolina had gone back to the 1-3-1 zone. Amaker penetrated around Hale, and I think he felt the presence of Hale and got the ball up to draw the foul.
Here is just beautiful basketball. Watch Michael Jordan. That is just perfect.
Now you might think, hey, that's a fairly easy play, but we have seen numerous attempts at alley-oops today, and the passes have not been well thrown. That was a perfect pass to Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan was 3 of 11 from the field in the first half. He is 5 for 5 in the second stanza. The freshman Tommy Amaker from Falls Church, Virginia, scores his first point as you look at the foul situation for Steve Hale. Amaker's first point of the afternoon, an important one as he knots the score at 66. And it remains at 66.
Now, unless North Carolina shoots the ball very quickly, this should be the last possession in the game where the shot clock will be on.
Jordan thought about the shot. Steve Hale gets it into Brad Doherty. Brad Doherty was 16.
The shot clock is now off. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left in the game. North Carolina goes back to the 1-3-1 zone.
Steve Hale with 9 assists this afternoon. Carolina has not missed a beat when he replaced Kenny Smith. Johnny Dawkins with 21 now in the afternoon.
Now, it'll be interesting to see what strategy North Carolina is going to employ. The game is tied. Duke is in the zone defense. Shot clock is off.
It was 41-40 at intermission. The biggest lead for either club was a 5-point advantage enjoyed on 2 occasions by Carolina in the second half. David Henderson has just fouled out of the ball game with 4:03 remaining in the game.
Great job by North Carolina to recognize David Henderson playing low on that particular side of the zone. Sam Perkins went right to him, got position, the lob pass over the zone. Get an opportunity to see what we're talking about. Hale looking inside for Perkins. Now what you can't see is Perkins get an excellent position against Henderson. Henderson just simply cannot guard Sam Perkins, so Perkins is too big, and so Henderson draws the foul.
David played another good ball game, had to step into the starting lineup because Jay Billis is at less than 100% with a shoulder problem. Jay will replace him. 14 points and 2 rebounds for the 6'5" sophomore.
It's a tough break for the Duke Blue Devils. David Henderson comes off the bench, is actually the 3rd leading scorer for the Blue Devils. Really gives them a quickness dimension that they may miss down the stretch.
Sam Perkins will be trying for his first second half points here at the foul line. Sam is 4 of 5 at the line.
Next possession will be a big one for the Duke Blue Devils. They really need to keep pace. I don't think they can afford to drop too far behind with only 4 minutes and 3 seconds left in the ball game.
Sam Perkins is the picture of concentration. He's going to be set exactly the way he wants to be for the free throws, but that time it didn't work anyway.
Good blockouts inside by Billis and Alarie. There wasn't a Carolina player in the area.
So Duke will have a chance to take the lead here with 3:50 to go in the game. Billis working against Brad Doherty. Amaker against Jordan. That's a mismatch. Now he's in trouble. Dribbled his way out of it. The pass to Mahar. Hale stripped him of the ball, but I think Hale got the foul.
No, Hale did not get the foul. I think Hank Nichols is saying that it was an inadvertent whistle. Now Mike Krzyzewski is really not happy about that. Hank Nichols going over and talking to him. It appears that Hank Nichols started to blow the whistle and changed his mind. I don't know. Mike Krzyzewski's not real pleased, but that's going to be a steal for Steve Hale and not a foul.
Well, we're going to get a timeout here in any event. 3:39 to go in the game. Carolina leading by a point, 69-68. We'll be right back.
Keep your eye on the car and the clock. Breathtaking acceleration with handling to match. So don't step on the gas unless you mean it. New Turbo Colt. Imported for Dodge and Plymouth. Built by Mitsubishi. To blast from 0 to 50 in 5.78 seconds. And give you pavement-scorching performance. In the lowest price turbo in America. Now that's an import with a purpose.
Of the 100 non-food products you buy most often, Rose's has all 100. And because Rose's has hundreds of stores, we buy them all in volume. So we can offer you a wide selection of everyday products at very low everyday prices. And with all the money you'll save, you can come to Rose's for something you don't buy every day. Rose's, the discount store that doesn't discount people.
This ACC basketball game is being brought to you in part by Mazda, by Holly Farms, and by Boss Bakeries. 3:39 to go in the game. North Carolina on top of Duke, 69-68. Jack Corrigan along with Dan Bonner. We'll have to gauge right now, Dan, what Dean Smith is going to do. Will he move out to the 4 corners, try and protect Michael Jordan with the 4 personal fouls? Both clubs with 3 timeouts remaining, so not really too much of a factor in that regard.
No, it's not a factor, at least it's not at this time. Duke, 3 minutes and 39 seconds. They're down by 1 point. North Carolina has the ball. You can see Henderson is fouled out of the game. Michael Jordan with 4 fouls. Group of other guys, including Dawkins and Alarie, with 3. Be interesting to see. Duke now comes out in the man-to-man defense. It looks like they're going to try to pressure the ball. It's an interesting matchup. Mahar, I don't think, really can guard Matt Doherty out at that point on the floor.
Doherty to Perkins in the corner, and yes, they have gone to the spread offense. 3:20 to go in the game.
And that's where the loss of Henderson really hurts the Duke Blue Devils. They don't have anybody to match up with Matt Doherty.
And we're going to get a 5-second call. Sam Perkins did not make enough penetration against Mark Alarie.
And Dean Smith is up, and he's really mad.
And Mike Krzyzewski has called a timeout. 3:14 to go in the game. Carolina 69, Duke 68. Back after this word from Budweiser.
This Bud's for everyone who takes the power and sends it down the line.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this Bud's for you.
Okay, Dinah, this commercial is about Holly Farms Prime Parts.
Prime Parts.
And how they can satisfy people who love breasts, wings, legs.
Oh, I have this thing about legs. This is a Holly Farms Prime Part chicken leg, and this is a breast with the basil garlic sauce, and these are the spicy apricot wings.
Yes, Dinah, but we're leaving out a part.
Thighs. I left out the thighs. I'm sorry.
The end part, Dinah.
The end. Oh, the end part. America is cooking with Holly Farms.
Prime performance, Dinah.
Where'd he go?
Welcome back to jam-packed Carmichael Auditorium. 69-68, North Carolina leading, but Duke has the basketball. And Dan Bonner, will we see Mike Krzyzewski perhaps hold the ball for the last shot? Dean Smith has got to consider that possibility.
Well, there's always that possibility. There was a recent ball game between Syracuse and Boston College at Boston College where Syracuse held the ball for the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the game, down 1 point and finally got one and scored. I think, though, what Mike Krzyzewski is doing is making sure that the Duke Blue Devils get down and get a good shot.
They get the inbound pass into Mahar and back to Amaker.
There's Carolina coming with the trap again. And once again, Amaker does a tremendous job not letting himself be trapped.
Amaker working against Michael Jordan. Jordan, remember, has 4 personal fouls, so he cannot be too aggressive.
Carolina in the man-to-man defense.
Dawkins on the baseline. Offensive foul, Johnny Dawkins.
And that's the one thing that Coach Mike Krzyzewski did not want. He's not very pleased with the call, but it looked like a good call. They were trying to set up a clear out for Johnny Dawkins. He's got the side cleared for him. He's going to try to penetrate past Steve Hale. It's a tough call.
It's always the tough one to call. There are both players moving on the baseline.
And here's Carolina in the 4 corners. This is why Mike Krzyzewski wanted to get a good shot down at the other end. Duke wanted to be ahead by 1 as opposed to down by 1, but they create the turnover.
The defense by Alarie. The break is almost foiled by Carolina, but Alarie did the smart job to get the ball back. 2:20 to go in the game. Carolina by a point. Alarie from 17. Rebound lost, but it comes out to Hale. Hale with a 1-on-3 holds up and gets it back out to Matt Doherty. 2:05 to go in the game.
Nice patience by Hale.
Perkins misses, but Billis for the foul.
It's a good foul by Jay Billis. That was going to be 2 points. Billis did a nice job to prevent the 3-point play as Sam Perkins was going after the dunk. Nice pass by Brad Doherty. Drew Alarie to him. Forces Billis to come over and make the play. Again, Billis does a nice job preventing the easy 2 points. Going to make Sam Perkins get it from the free throw line.
Sam, of course, an outstanding free throw shooter, nearly 86% on the year, but he has missed 2 and 7 tries this afternoon.
Duke had 2 opportunities to go up by 1 point, and North Carolina foiled both of them.
Sam Perkins playing his final game at Carmichael Auditorium. You look at the Carolina bench, a couple of the youngsters perhaps trying to take a cue from this guy. What a career. The last 3 Carolina points have come at the foul line.
It's a big possession for the Duke Blue Devils now. They're down by 3 points. They almost have to score.
71-68 with 1:55. You see the clock in the lower portion of your screen.
North Carolina is actually running a diamond-in-1 defense. Hale is guarding Johnny Dawkins man-to-man. The other 4 fellas playing zone. See how Duke reacts to this.
Dawkins inside, fed it off to Mahar, forced up the shot. Billis goes up, no, but he was fouled by Brad Doherty.
Boy, that could have been a big play if that ball goes down. Now Jay Billis is going to have to go to the line to get 2 points. Nice job by Johnny Dawkins. Despite the fact that Carolina's guarding him in a diamond-in-one situation, he was able to catch the ball, penetrate inside, draw the defense to him, and find the open man.
Jay Billis, 9 points on the afternoon, playing with an injured shoulder, 3 of 4 at the foul line.
Billis only about a 63% free throw shooter, and these are some big free throws he's got here.
It's a 2-shot opportunity. Buries the first one, 71-69. There you see Brad Doherty, 4 personals on Brad.
A couple of fellas from Carolina with 4 personal fouls. David Henderson is gone for the Blue Devils.
The sophomore from Rolling Hills, California, bangs the second one in, and again it is a 1-point ball game. 1:35 to go in the game. Carolina will spread it out.
Duke has good quickness, matched up against Carolina at all spots except that Mahar-Matt Doherty matchup.
Boy, Hale almost got trapped. Did not make a great pass, but Sam Perkins was there for the play. Jordan, no. Rebound, Dawkins. And now Duke will take a timeout. We've got 71 ticks on the clock remaining. Carolina leading 71-70, but Duke has got the ball. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Lots of people try their luck at getting rich quick with the hopes that all their money problems will be solved instantly. At Jefferson Standard, we know the only real way to financial security is through financial planning, and our agents get extra training to help you reach your goals with insurance, mutual funds, tax shelters, and more. Because most people who try to get rich quick never get rich at all. Jefferson Standard, we give a little extra.
Now Washington's better.
Way better.
Nashville's better.
Far better.
Los Angeles is better.
Really better.
Now Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
Almost every 7 days, a brand new Holiday Inn hotel opens in the locations you want the most. Better hotels in the best locations. That's why we're #1.
We're #1, worldwide host. First with what you want the most.
Call 800-HOLIDAY.
Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
Our Holly Farms players of the game are Brad Doherty from North Carolina and Johnny Dawkins from Duke. Holly Farms will contribute $1,000 to the Atlantic Coast Conference to be distributed to the institutions under a conference-approved plan in the name of these 2 players. At the end of the season, each player will receive a plaque from Holly Farms recognizing the honor. Johnny Dawkins and Brad Doherty, the players of the game. There could have been 3 or 4 guys we could have picked there, Dan.
There are a lot of guys who have had tremendous games. Steve Hale for North Carolina has 9 assists, has done a nice defensive job against Johnny Dawkins, despite Dawkins' 21 points. Michael Jordan has come on in the second half. He's got 18 points. Sam Perkins has 15 points. A lot of real strong play in this ball game.
1:11 to go in the game. Duke has 1 timeout remaining.
Now you have the very distinct possibility that the Blue Devils may hold the ball for 1 shot in this situation. North Carolina doing a nice job coming out and attacking defensively.
And they're going to call an offensive foul on Tommy Amaker against Michael Jordan at center floor. Let's look at that one again.
North Carolina always attacking defensively. Amaker so concerned about Michael Jordan. I don't think he saw Matt Doherty until he stepped into him. That looked like a pretty good call.
The foul on Amaker is his 3rd. A big defensive play.
Every time Duke has had the opportunity here at the end of the game to take the lead, North Carolina has forced a turnover.
Carolina is 45 seconds away from becoming only the 6th ACC club to go through the regular season unbeaten. We have not had one since 1974, the NC State Wolfpack. 30 seconds to go in the game. Perkins loses the ball to Dawkins. Dawkins has the ball stripped by Michael Jordan.
What a great defensive play by Johnny Dawkins. He steals the ball, gets down the court, but Michael Jordan is able to knock it away. Here you see Dawkins coming down the court. Jordan really straining, chasing him. Gets the ball right there just before Dawkins is able to put it up. What a great play by Johnny Dawkins, but a great layup saving play by Michael Jordan.
71-70 with 28 seconds to go in the second half, as we want to thank the people who helped bring us ACC basketball. The executive producer, John Srees, Mike Berg, the coordinating producer. Our producer this afternoon, Todd Pankoff, and director Jim Dussel calling the shots back in the truck, and associate director Kathy Cook. The rest of the troops doing the job here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all the support here this afternoon. They have been doing an outstanding job of bringing you what has been another great basketball game. Duke has not won in this building since 1966. Carolina has not lost their last regular season home game since 1968. Trying, as I said a few moments ago, to become only the 6th team to go through the ACC regular season unbeaten. And Dan, perhaps it is fitting that we have come down to this.
This has really been a heck of a basketball game. Duke now has spent their last time out. So if you're the Duke Blue Devils, the first thing you have to be thinking about is get the ball in bounds. Duke no longer has the option of calling a timeout if they're pressured by North Carolina. And North Carolina, to start the second half, stole the inbounds pass from the Duke Blue Devils. And Carolina has the ability to really contest that inbounds play. And now it'll be Duke's ball out of bounds underneath the basket. We'll have to see if North Carolina goes to the man-to-man. It certainly looks like they are.
As you said, Dan, no timeouts remaining, so Mark Alarie has got to get this ball in. He'll lob it way outside to Dawkins, working against Michael Jordan. Dawkins down low to Mahar. Alarie is open underneath. Alarie puts it up. Yes, and a foul to go with it.
Boy, that is a big basket by Mark Alarie. He got loose inside. Duke moved the ball around very well once again. That's something that has probably been the key to this game for the Blue Devils, their ability to move the basketball. Billis, nice bounce pass into Alarie. The fake gets by both Perkins and Jordan. You get the foul call, the ball's going in the basket. Alarie's got an opportunity now to give Duke a 2-point lead. This is a big, big free throw.
Mark Alarie with 23 points on the afternoon. The foul went on Sam Perkins, make it 24, and now Carolina needs a basket for a tie. 15 seconds to go here in the second half. Michael Jordan on the baseline. No, foul away from the ball.
The foul's against Brad Doherty. I do believe they finally caught him for knocking down Danny Mahar, but that is a very good foul.
Because it at least stops the clock, and by the fact that Danny Mahar is not one of the best free throw shooters, 65% on the year. Look at the replay again.
Good shot by Steve Hale. Good shot by Hale.
Boy, if we get one more look at that, if we get a chance. Watch Brad Doherty. He looks like one of the guys from Championship Wrestling. Watch him throw Danny Mahar to the floor. Unfortunately, there's Brad Doherty. He is fouled out.
He fouled out of the game. That's our Holly Farms player of the game. But as we say, it's not a bad foul because Danny Mahar is only a 65% free throw shooter. North Carolina gets an opportunity to get the ball back right away with 9 seconds left. That timeout called by North Carolina. They're going to set something up now in the event that Dan Mahar misses.
And Carolina still has a timeout remaining. Let's look at it again.
Watch Brad Doherty. This is Steve Hale is going to miss the shot from the corner. Good defensive pressure over there. Mahar with a good block out. Doherty just takes just throws him down.
That'd be a 2-point takedown in collegiate wrestling.
Now, it ends up being a good foul because the ball was missed. Now, had that ball gone in the basket, then it becomes a questionable foul. I don't think that Brad Doherty was trying to foul in that situation. He was simply trying to get around for the offensive rebound. Great block out inside by Mahar.
You see the Duke players huddled around Mike Krzyzewski. And how about Dean Smith? An unbelievable coaching career here at North Carolina. National championships, ACC titles. But he has never gone through the regular season in the ACC unbeaten. It looked for a while like it was going to happen this afternoon. It still may yet happen. But
there's a lot of time left in the game, 9 seconds. Mahar really needs to make both of these free throws so Mike Krzyzewski can breathe a little easier. If Duke wins the game, it will be Duke's first win in Carmichael Auditorium since 1966.
And as you had pointed out at the start of the broadcast, Dan, Duke is 5-1 on the road this year. They may be, with the exception of Carolina, they'll tie Carolina as the best road team if they can hang on for the victory.
These are going to be some big free throws by Mahar. It's a 1-1.
65% free throw shooter. The junior has not scored in the game. And still has not scored. Sam Perkins calls time with 7 seconds to go.
Now, Sam Perkins was fumbling around with the basketball trying to call the timeout by making the hand sign. He doesn't need to make the hand sign to call the timeout. All he needs to do is call for the timeout.
So they lost maybe one extra tick of the clock. They've got 7 seconds here in regulation.
That's plenty of time to get the ball up the court and get a good shot. It'll be interesting to see what Dean Smith sets up here. He's still got one timeout remaining. You've got a couple of different theories about this. If Duke is going to put some pressure on full court, if North Carolina can get the ball in past the first defensive man, maybe they'll just run the ball down the court and take the first shot available. I think if they get the ball in difficult position and Duke is back and set defensively, you may see North Carolina bring the ball into the half-court area and call the last timeout.
If you think this basketball game has been a great one, and indeed it has, wait till next weekend for the ACC tournament, that annual shootout, one of the best in college basketball at the Greensboro Coliseum, starting next Friday at 12 o'clock. Carolina will take on Clemson. Then a game at 2 p.m. At 7 o'clock, NC State will take on whomever to be decided. The fourth game will take place at 9 o'clock on Friday night. The semifinals will begin with the ACC Sports Center at 1 o'clock. The doubleheader games at 1:30 and 3:30. Then we'll wind it up on Sunday afternoon with the coverage beginning at 1 o'clock, the ACC tournament.
Have been some interesting ball games. This particular game, the last game of the season, Duke against North Carolina, right here on this floor in 1974. North Carolina was down by 8 points with 17 seconds left to go in the game. They scored 8 points in 17 seconds against Duke to send the ball game into overtime.
Kenny Smith has come back into the ball game for North Carolina. We have got Joe Wolf, Sam Perkins, Matt Doherty, Michael Jordan, and Kenny Smith, Tommy Amaker, Johnny Dawkins, Mark Alarie, Dan Mahar, and Jay Billis for Duke. Doherty dribbling it all the way down the floor. And we are going to overtime.
Boy, what a basketball game.
Unbelievable. We're going to overtime. I can't hear anything, but I'll tell you, we'll be back after this word from Budweiser.
In Olympic bobsledding, our lives depend on our equipment. She's got to hold together under more G-forces than a space shot. The whole team pitches in, because coming down the run, this sled's all we've got.
To everyone who's working hard for America's Olympic efforts, this Bud's for you.
Sometimes flying those bargain airlines can be expensive.
That'll be $3 a bag.
Like when your luggage has to pay its own way, or when you have to go outside to get inside the plane, or when even coffee costs extra.
That'll be 50 cents, please.
But when you fly Piedmont, you won't get soaked by the airfare or the rain. No unexpected costs, no surprises. Please, Piedmont Airlines, where a bargain is a bargain.
You are Matt Doherty. You are playing your final home game of your collegiate career. Your team is down with seconds to go. You decide you're going to do it yourself.
Michael Jordan was covered. Doherty actually fumbled the ball there. You can see he's fallen away. The ball still goes in the basket. Kenny Smith raising his fist. What a great shot by Matt Doherty. Now in the overtime, you've got Michael Jordan with 4 fouls. Brad Doherty is fouled out of the game.
The opening tap is controlled by Carolina. This is the first overtime game of the year for Carolina. This is the third OT affair in the last 5 games for Duke. They are 2-0 in OT, knocking off Wake Forest and NC State in back-to-back games.
Duke has been playing close basketball games all year. 11 of their last 12 games have been decided by 5 points or fewer.
Joe Wolf misses the one in the lane, and the rebound, Jay Billis.
Duke has one more timeout to get another timeout for the overtime. North Carolina has another one also, so they've got 2. Now Duke looks like they're going to spread the floor and try to hold the ball a little while, create an easy opportunity.
Keep in mind, Johnny Dawkins has 4 personal. We're at the Greensboro Coliseum starting next Friday at 12 o'clock. Carolina will take on Clemson. Then a game at 2 p.m. At 7 o'clock, NC State will take on whomever to be decided. The fourth game will take place at 9 o'clock on Friday night. The semifinals will begin with the ACC Sports Center at 1 o'clock. The doubleheader games at 1:30 and 3:30. Then we'll wind it up on Sunday afternoon with the coverage beginning at 1 o'clock, the ACC tournament.
Have been some interesting ball games. This particular game, the last game of the season, Duke against North Carolina, right here on this floor in 1974. North Carolina was down by 8 points with 17 seconds left to go in the game. They scored 8 points in 17 seconds against Duke to send the ball game into overtime.
Kenny Smith has come back into the ball game for North Carolina. We have got Joe Wolf, Sam Perkins, Matt Doherty, Michael Jordan, and Kenny Smith, Tommy Amaker, Johnny Dawkins, Mark Alarie, Dan Mahar, and Jay Billis for Duke. Doherty dribbling it all the way down the floor.
Boy, what a basketball game.
Unbelievable. We're going to overtime. I can't hear anything, but I'll tell you, we'll be back after this word from Budweiser.
In Olympic bobsledding, our lives depend on our equipment. She's got to hold together under more G-forces than a space shot. The whole team pitches in, because coming down the run, this sled's all we've got.
To everyone who's working hard for America's Olympic efforts, this Bud's for you.
Sometimes flying those bargain airlines can be expensive.
That'll be $3 a bag.
Like when your luggage has to pay its own way, or when you have to go outside to get inside the plane, or when even coffee costs extra.
That'll be 50 cents, please.
But when you fly Piedmont, you won't get soaked by the airfare or the rain. No unexpected costs, no surprises. Please, Piedmont Airlines, where a bargain is a bargain.
You are Matt Doherty. You are playing your final home game of your collegiate career. Your team is down with seconds to go. You decide you're going to do it yourself.
Michael Jordan was covered. Doherty actually fumbled the ball there. You can see he's fallen away. The ball still goes in the basket. Kenny Smith raising his fist. What a great shot by Matt Doherty. Now in the overtime, you've got Michael Jordan with 4 fouls. Brad Doherty is fouled out of the game.
The opening tap is controlled by Carolina. This is the first overtime game of the year for Carolina. This is the 3rd OT affair in the last 5 games for Duke. They are 2-0 in OT, knocking off Wake Forest and NC State in back-to-back games.
Duke has been playing close basketball games all year. 11 of their last 12 games have been decided by 5 points or fewer.
Joe Wolf misses the one in the lane, and the rebound, Jay Billis.
Duke has one more timeout. They get another timeout for the overtime. North Carolina has another one also, so they've got 2. Now Duke looks like they're going to spread the floor and try to hold the ball a little while, create an easy opportunity.
Keep in mind, Johnny Dawkins has 4 personal fouls for Duke.
North Carolina in the man-to-man defense. This is a long time to hold the basketball. Duke has not looked at the basket yet. I think if Dawkins or Amaker gets an opportunity to penetrate by, we'll see them do that, but up to this time, they have not.
A little bit of a mismatch as Doherty was on Dawkins. Now they settle back down again. Joe Wolf now will come out and put a little pressure on Jay Billis.
If you're Duke, you want the ball being handled by Alarie, by Amaker, and by Dawkins.
Alarie working against Sam Perkins. They look for the double team. On the baseline, Amaker going to the hoop. First point of the afternoon, or make it the first basket of the afternoon for Tommy Amaker.
Great patience by the Duke Blue Devils. They spread out the floor. They waited until they had the layup, and then they cashed it in. Duke back to that 3-2 zone with Alarie playing the point of it.
You saw the clock in the lower portion of your screen. Under 3:15 to go in overtime.
Jay Billis just gave Sam Perkins a shot. There's Michael Jordan with a big hoop.
Michael Jordan with 20.
Look for North Carolina, I think, to try to put a little bit more pressure on against the Blue Devils. They'll probably try to double team if they get the opportunity.
Under 3 minutes in the extra session. Long lob cross court to Jay Billis. Billis could be their outlet man on the passing because Joe Wolf has had some problems. Billis misses the 5-footer. The rebound, here comes Jordan for Carolina. 3-on-2. Jordan stripped by Amaker.
Great defensive play on both ends. Jay Billis was going for the layup, but Joe Wolf got back and made him shoot the short jumper, and then Michael Jordan was going up for the shot. Great tip away by Tommy Amaker.
2:25 to go in overtime. We are tied at 75. It was 41-40 at halftime, 73-73 at the end of regulation.
Joe Wolf is hanging back in the middle of the lane, really letting Jay Billis catch the ball outside. Here's the double team.
They get it off to Dawkins. 2:05 to go in overtime.
Duke should really try to stay away from the sidelines because I think that's where Carolina is going to look to come with the double team.
Perkins has to come way outside on Alarie, and there's Billis. Dribbles away from Perkins. We are under 2 minutes. 1:50 to go in overtime. Ball knocked out of bounds by Sam Perkins.
North Carolina with the timeout.
We will get a timeout with 1:47 remaining here in overtime. We are still deadlocked. Carolina Duke at 75-all. Back with more right after this.
Keep your eye on the car and the clock. Breathtaking acceleration with handling to match. So don't step on the gas unless you mean it. New Turbo Colt. Imported for Dodge and Plymouth. Built by Mitsubishi. To blast from 0 to 50 in 5.78 seconds. And give you pavement-scorching performance. In the lowest price turbo in America. Now that's an import with a purpose.
Now Washington's better.
Way better.
Nashville's better.
Far better.
Los Angeles is better.
Really better.
Now Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
Almost every 7 days, a brand new Holiday Inn hotel opens in the locations you want the most. Better hotels in the best locations. That's why we're number one.
We're number one, worldwide host. First with what you want the most.
Call 800-HOLIDAY.
Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
75-75, 1:47 remaining in overtime. Let's take a look at the great defensive play by Tommy Amaker.
Possibly the biggest defensive play of the game. Michael Jordan has shot written all over his face, takes the ball in strong. Amaker stripped it away. Great defensive play by Tommy Amaker. Now, North Carolina called the timeout. There was not a Duke timeout, and I think maybe what Dean Smith did was change what he wanted to do defensively, give Duke something different to look at. That dead ball created by Sam Perkins tipping the ball away created the opportunity for Dean to change his scheme. And here you can see we've got the strong double team.
Boy, Mahar got himself in trouble, and Amaker loses the ball to Steve Wolf. Wolf trying to dribble it, and it comes to Dawkins. Boy, the Carolina bench is going berserk.
I thought Hale had the ball, but he fell down. Now there's an over and back. That's an over and back.
Not a good pass by Johnny Dawkins.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Johnny Dawkins and Tommy Amaker have done so well this entire basketball game against the North Carolina pressure. The last 2 times, Amaker almost got it stolen by Hale, and then Dawkins threw the bad pass in the backcourt. The North Carolina pressure, I guess, just eventually gets to you. Now, North Carolina's going to spread it out in the 4 corners. They're going to look for the easy shot.
There you see the clock. Under 1:20 to go here in overtime. We are tied at 75. Each club with a basket in the extra session. Kenny Smith down the lane. Jordan on the drive. Second basket in OT for Michael Jordan.
Well, now that's obviously the opportunity they wanted to create. North Carolina dropping back. Looks like they're going to go back into the zone defense.
That was the 25th lead change of this basketball game.
Johnny Dawkins looking over at the bench for instructions.
Inside to Alarie, and they say Sam Perkins shoved him.
Boy, Alarie's going to go to the line with 45 seconds left for a pretty big 1-and-1 opportunity.
Watch it again.
Alarie really wants the ball inside. What a great catch. It was actually a bad pass. Alarie turning to the basket, gets fouled by Sam Perkins from behind. Looked like they could have called it on Matt Doherty as well. These are some big free throws for Mark Alarie.
24 points in the ball game for Mark Alarie. 6 of 6 at the foul line. Doug McNeely has come into the ball game now for defensive purposes. They'll put Danny Mahar down.
McNeely's in the game. If Alarie misses the free throws, Duke is going to need the defense. If Alarie makes the free throws, then they're going to drop back in the zone anyhow.
A 1-and-1. The first one is perfect.
I think Duke is anticipating that North Carolina is probably going to call a timeout to set up the last shot, and when they do, then Duke can get Mahar back in the game.
Big free throw for Mark Alarie. He got them both.
Boy, that's shooting some free throws under pressure.
That is the 16th tie of this ball game.
North Carolina going to set up the four corners.
Kenny Smith almost lost the ball, gets it into Perkins.
They'll need to set up the last shot of the game. Nice penetration by Kenny Smith. You can see how valuable he is to the North Carolina Tar Heels. Hasn't played much the whole game, but down here in the crunch, he's in there.
17 points for Sam Perkins. Would that be just a poetic justice if he scores the game winner? Dawkins from way outside. Rebound, Billis. 10 seconds to go in the OT. Dawkins!
What a shot! What a shot! How did he get that in the basket? 5 seconds.
And we've got a timeout called by Carolina with 4 seconds to go in the game. In the first overtime, I should say.
That's true. We don't know how long we're going to be here.
We will be back for the frantic final seconds. 79 to 79. We'll be right back.
I can do this. Let me try. It's easy. No way. Watch. Right in your mouth.
This is a pop-up action meal from Hardee's with all of Biscuit's TV characters.
Let me try. Oh, you missed. My turn. Can I try? No, you're too little.
For a special price, you get a regular burger, regular fries, a small soft drink, and a Biscuit's pop-up action meal at Hardee's.
Oh, no.
One each week, 4 in all. The kids will eat them up.
Let's settle in here, all right? I'm guessing that they're hiding right out in this grass. Watch me, partner. It's all in the wrist. Oh, I got bit. Big. Game on in. Let's get a look at that hog. Oh, nice meeting you, big guy.
The Red Man reaction. Satisfaction.
Welcome back to Carmichael Auditorium. Here's the shot that has regained the tie for the Duke Blue Devils. First the miss by Dawkins.
Billis doing an excellent job getting the rebound. It was a long rebound, and now you're going to see Dawkins with just a circus move inside. He was almost back down on the floor, penetrating inside the defense. North Carolina called a timeout right at midcourt. 4 seconds left in the basketball game. Mike Krzyzewski has had a chance to set his defensive strategy. Dean Smith has had a chance to set his offensive strategy, and you better believe that guy we just saw in the picture is going to be part of it. Duke with 1 timeout left, North Carolina with 1 timeout left.
4 seconds remaining. Jordan has 4 of the 6 points in overtime for Carolina. Sam Perkins with the other basket. There's Jordan from 20. No, and we're going to go to double overtime.
Michael Jordan actually had lost control of the basketball. That's obviously the play that North Carolina wanted to run. Michael Jordan had an opportunity with another couple dribbles to get closer to the basket, but he didn't have time to do it.
Good pressure by the Duke defense. It was a late throw into Jordan.
Now here's Jordan, but he sort of fumbles the ball right there. And he's a little bit off balance as he goes up to shoot. Gets a good shot off under decent pressure by Johnny Dawkins. The ball hits the side of the board. Not any time for a rebound. There wasn't any opportunity for a rebound.
You see the clock in the lower right-hand corner. As it kicked to the floor with 1 second left. Maybe Steve Hale would have had a chance if the ball would have hit him as he was moving by, but...
Well, the ball's got to hit the rim in a situation like that, and what Dean Smith did by bringing Michael Jordan over to the corner was clear out the side down there. He had a good mismatch for the offensive rebound. Joe Wolf was down in there battling Doug McNeely, and I think had the ball hit the rim, North Carolina was in pretty good position, but Jordan fumbling the ball as he tried to stop his dribble and get set for the shot, threw the shot off so it hit the side of the board.
To show you how well balanced the Atlantic Coast Conference is this year, Dan, I got to believe that just about Carolina's been the only club in the conference that has not had more than 1 overtime game this year. It seems like every time you turn around, it's another extra session affair in the ACC this season.
The interesting thing about this game, it's been a great game, but we were saying in the middle of the second half how tired the players must be. They've got to be even more tired now. You just saw Mike Krzyzewski wipe his brow. He looks like he's been working pretty hard this evening as well.
There's Dean Smith, now number 4 lifetime winning percentage among college coaches, behind Claire B., Adolph Rupp, and John Wooden. This year, Dean passed three coaches, including the legendary Fog Allen. He has won 77% of the games he has coached at Carolina.
Boy, nice job by Doug McNeely to not go into the backcourt.
Amaker working against Hale in the lane, forces the shot. The ball, you can see they're tired. That ball off the rim came to the floor.
That was a real tough shot. I think Amaker didn't realize that he was in there against that much defensive pressure.
Jordan looking inside, kicks it to Hale. Now to Perkins down low. And
well, Tommy Amaker and Mark Alarie think it's Duke's ball, but John Clockerty saw it differently.
John hesitated a little bit, and Mr. Alarie and Mr. Amaker doing a little bit of negotiating, but
there are three other fellas out there that have to be a little tired. It's tough on the officials.
The alley-oop for Jordan, it goes, and the foul. He actually handled the catch.
Was not a real good alley-oop pass. Jordan had a tough time catching the ball, but I believe they're going to get Amaker for running into him. Here's the pass by Hale. Now it's Billis trying to get up there and get it.
Jay Billis with his third personal. You'll watch it again.
You know, Michael Jordan, I don't think he jumps, he flies. My goodness.
I have to apologize. I said he mishandled the catch. Actually, he adjusted to it.
It was not a very good alley-oop pass. Instead of trying to catch it and dunk it down, he actually tipped it in. Now Dean Smith's yelling out some defensive instructions. This is the first three-point lead that either of these teams have had in the overtime sessions.
4:15 to go in the second OT.
Big possession for Duke.
Dawkins against Steve Hale. That's Billis double team. Dawkins from way outside. Yes.
What a big basket. Johnny Dawkins has made a couple of big shots.
25 points for Johnny Dawkins. 25 points for Michael Jordan, and Mark Alarie with 26 to lead all scorers. Doherty against McNeely all the way to the glass. Perkins in the follow.
What a big rebound, but I think he dribbled him on the foul. No, he's getting a foul against McNeely.
Doug McNeely called for the foul, his third. Let's look at it again.
Awfully tough shot by Matt Doherty. Pretty good help by Mark Alarie. There, Perkins with one tip, tips it across the board, gets the rebound. The foul called right there on Doug McNeely.
McNeely will sit down. Dan Mahar will come back in. Sam Perkins with 17 points will go to the foul line. Sam is 7 of 9, making 8 of 10 at the line. John Madry with all the numbers again. 18 points for Sam.
What a big rebound by Perkins. North Carolina did a very good job in the first half on the offensive boards, and they've done a nice job here in the overtime sessions on the offensive boards.
The important free throw for senior Sam Perkins.
Michael Jordan is dancing around down in there like a swimmer ready to dive.
The last 3 points have come at the line for Carolina. That's the difference in the game. 3:35 just about right now in overtime.
Michael Jordan is a very dangerous defender in a situation like this because he's got the license to go out for the steal, so Amaker's got to be aware if Jordan leaves him.
Alarie on the baseline, over Wolf, around and in.
Boy, tough shot by Alarie. We have seen some clutch basketball shooting in this game, I'll tell you what.
84-83, Jordan around Dawkins. Throws it back outside. Dawkins was trying to get the offensive foul.
Dawkins asking for the offensive foul. That's a pretty good matchup, Dawkins and Jordan.
Keep in mind that Dawkins and Jordan both have 4 personal fouls.
Very dangerous pass by Matt Doherty.
Steve Hale against Amaker inside to Perkins over Alarie.
Mentioned earlier that Sam Perkins, there was a point in the second half where he hadn't scored and had only taken 1 shot. Comes down to the end and they're going to Sam and he's producing.
Sam has got 6 points in the overtime. Dawkins from outside, no. Mahar keeps the rebound alive, but Perkins comes away with it.
Guess who? Sam Perkins. Rebound, couple of big free throws, big basket. Now he pulls down a big defensive board.
4 points in this second extra session for Perkins. Doherty, the other senior, out on the floor. Jordan brings it back outside. 2:10 to go in the overtime. Perkins on the road.
What a pass by Michael Jordan. And now Sam Perkins and Jay Billis jawing at one another. Don't know what that was all about, but Sam Perkins has scored 6 points in a row. Jordan.
Amaker walks with the basketball. Good call. They are going crazy here in Carmichael. 1:56 remaining in the second overtime. Carolina to a 5-point advantage. We'll be back right after this.
Winning. An uncompromising dedication to excellence, quality, and value. Being the best at whatever you are. Being a winner. Simply because there's nothing else to be. Leggett and Pony keep you in step with the active life. Enduring styles in athletic shoes with enduring quality to match. Mile after mile after mile. Winners, Pony and Leggett.
At Central Fidelity Bank, we know you're ready to get moving again. In a new car, in a used car that's new to you, or in a truck you just can't wait to show off. At Central Fidelity, we can give you a head start with lower interest rates on car and boat loans. You've been working hard to get where you want to go, and we're working harder for you with lower interest on loans.
Work harder for you at Central Fidelity Bank.
88-83, 1:56 to go in the game. If this guy is the player of the year, the guy at the other end should also be player of the year.
You have two All-Americans making a big play, giving Duke a 5-point lead. Now Perkins is going to come down. He runs into Jay Billis. Now look right here. This is a guy who's been accused of not being aggressive enough in his career at North Carolina. Certainly he and Jay Billis both appeared to be aggressive right there.
23 points in the game. Smith almost had problems getting that ball in.
Duke's got to get the ball right away. There's still time. There's 1 minute 50 seconds left in the game. Here we have this matchup again that Duke just is having a tough time with.
Give and go. Jordan will back it outside again. Duke will have to start fouling pretty soon, but it really cannot be Dawkins because he's got the 4 personals. They probably should put Kenny Smith on the line, although they are all good free throw shooters out there for Carolina. Smith lost the ball but managed to swat it over to Jordan. Jordan in trouble. He is fouled by Amaker.
Got a chance to see some excellent ball handling by the University of North Carolina. Duke players are very tired. These guys have been out there a long time playing very hard. Just could not put the kind of pressure on North Carolina that they needed to take the ball. Now Michael Jordan and Tommy Amaker shake hands.
Duke will see Steve Hale come back into the lineup for Carolina as the defensive replacement. Kenny Smith, who did the job ball handling, returns to the Carolina bench. 25 points from Michael Jordan, was 3 for 11 from the field in the first half. The 6'5" junior from Wilmington, North Carolina. 89-83. All the points in overtime for Carolina have been scored by Perkins and Jordan.
They are really some kind of basketball players, showing their mettle in the second overtime of a real tough basketball game.
Amaker's pass almost stolen by Hale. Now the pass is thrown away.
You know, Jack, a lot of teams will get down to a situation like this. They'll go back in the zone and they'll play passively, but North Carolina is always attacking on defense. What an active zone they played. Caused the turnover by Duke. Duke has come apart at the seams a little bit the last couple of possessions.
And a foul is called on Doug McNeely against Matt Doherty. And that's pretty fair at the foul line.
You're not going to find very many guys out there for Carolina who are not pretty fair at the foul line. The team shoots 79%.
This will be Matt Doherty's first trip to the line. He is a 78% free throw shooter. It'll be a 1-and-1. He's got 10 points in the ball game. He also playing his final basketball game here at Carmichael.
He's had a great game as well.
Matt Doherty going into this game, along with Walter Davis, is the only player in ACC history to score 1,000 points, get 400 rebounds, and 400 assists in a career. That's not too bad. Misses the second one, but a very tired Mark Alarie couldn't control the rebound.
Alarie just couldn't control the ball. I think it's all over for Duke. He's complaining that he was pushed from behind. Then in the second half, you heard very little from Sam Perkins and Michael Jordan. Brad Doherty did a nice job early in the game, had 10 early points. had 6 big points to keep North Carolina in the game when Michael Jordan was out, and for that we gave Brad Doherty our Player of the Game award. But Matt, Michael Jordan and Sam Perkins have taken over in the overtime and are leading North Carolina to what seems to be a win.
Carolina is 62 seconds away from being team number 6 in terms of an undefeated ACC campaign, and it would be the first in the 23-year career of Dean Smith at North Carolina. And you know the players want this one for Coach Smith.
Well, I think so. The thing that's the most impressive statistic about North Carolina possibly being 14-0 is how strong the league is. They've done this as Kenny Smith makes the first free throw to build a 9-point lead. Game's not going to look like a close game, but it's been much closer than the 9 points up there now. Everybody said the league was balanced, and it's the most balanced league in a long, long time, and yet North Carolina can still go through undefeated. Just a great effort by a great team.
And with that 10-point advantage, you see Steve Hale back in the ball game. Carolina will ease up on the pressure a little bit. Steve Hale started to come on the floor. They'll pack it back in. Dawkins on the run. Jordan rejects him.
Michael Jordan, after sitting down and playing a little bit out of control in the first half, sitting down for a large portions of the second half, is really into the basketball game now.
Big smile on Michael's face. The ball is lost out of bounds, but they say it went off of Joe Wolf. I tell you what, the rest of the world better be ready this summer in Los Angeles when Michael Jordan and undoubtedly Sam Perkins as well show the rest of the Olympic teams how you play Carolina basketball.
What a great effort by the Duke Blue Devils. Young team coming in, playing very aggressively on offense, taking the game to North Carolina. Get a foul there on Doug McNeely. You have to remember that North Carolina had to score at the buzzer to send the game into overtime. Duke did a fine job. Mike Krzyzewski really had his team ready. They handled the North Carolina pressure well, just played an outstanding game.
Duke has taken a timeout. There is 40 seconds to go here in the second OT. We'll be back after this word from Budweiser.
In Olympic bobsledding, our lives depend on our equipment. She's got to hold together under more G-forces than a space shot. The whole team pitches in, because coming down the run, this sled's all we've got.
To everyone who's working hard for America's Olympic efforts, this Bud's for you.
Sometimes flying those bargain airlines can be expensive.
That'll be $3 a bag.
Like when your luggage has to pay its own way, or when you have to go outside to get inside the plane, or when even coffee costs extra.
That'll be 50 cents, please.
But when you fly Piedmont, you won't get soaked by the airfare or the rain. No unexpected costs, no surprises. Please, Piedmont Airlines, where a bargain is a bargain.
One of the all-time greats in North Carolina basketball history. There's another page of a glittering resume. Sam Perkins, what a job in the overtime. 6 points in OT, 23 for the ball game. His classmate Matt Doherty at the foul line just hits his 12th point as he too closes out an illustrious Carolina career. Sam Perkins, unbelievable that some people say he is not aggressive enough.
How can you criticize a guy like that? My goodness.
Dawkins with the ball after the Doherty miss. In and out, Alarie swats the ball to Mahar, who saves it to Amaker. And we got an offensive foul. Steve Hale, for about the 5th or 6th time, has drawn the player control foul.
Now the seniors are going to come out of the ball game.
There goes Sam Perkins and Matt Doherty.
Dean Smith given the opportunity for the crowd to recognize his seniors. Big hug there for Sam Perkins and Doherty.
Look at the smile on the face of Matt Doherty. 30 seconds to go in the game. Incidentally, that foul was the 5th on Tommy Amaker. There's Cecil Exum. We can't forget him. Great thing about basketball programs, it's not just 5 players. You got to go 1 through 12 to 15, because the guys during the week also have to contribute. And Cecil Exum has made that his major contribution to this Carolina success.
Carolina players very happy now. Of course, they realize that this isn't their last game. They hope they've got a lot more coming up.
Kenny Smith outside. Steve Hale is rejected by the Duke defense.
Got to give Duke some credit. They haven't quit. They've got no chance in the game, but they're still playing aggressive defensively. Billis, Alarie, Dawkins, Nahar, they really look tired. Richard Ford in the game for Duke.
The Matt Doherty basket with 1 second remaining in regulation got Carolina into overtime. It took them 2 overtime sessions, but Joe Wolf with the final icing on the cake. It is all over. The North Carolina Tar Heels, for the first time in 10 years, a club in the ACC has gone through the season unbeaten. What a finale.
It's a great finale, and now the hard part starts for North Carolina, down to the ACC tournament against a very tough Clemson team, and hopefully for Carolina beyond that, I'm sure. Great effort by
Thank you, Dan
Duke.
Bonner, for being on hand for a great one. This is Jack Corrigan saying once again the final score, North Carolina 96, Duke 83. This has been a presentation of Raycom Sports Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions.